النبي سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. جزاك الله خير.
I'm not even 2.5. So yeah.
Listen guys, no chatting.
Okay, so last week we talked about
Bullying.
bullying. We talked about just what is, how do you define bullying? So just off the top of your head quickly, what is bullying in your opinion? Yes, sir?
It's someone who bugs you all the time and never stops.
Okay, so somebody bugs you, yes?
Somebody who always being aggressive with you and keeps bothering you all the time.
Okay, so somebody's being aggressive with you, bothering you, yes, Kenny?
Somebody who feels down about themselves and they want other people to feel down with them.
Okay, so somebody who themselves is they're feeling down or depressed and they want to share some of that depression with you. Okay? Yes, sir? Why did you come? Can you come here, please? It's too far. I have to stretch all the way back.
It's like a repeated anger, something like that. A repeated conflict.
Okay, so like, what do you mean?
Like it's like a repeated fight, something like that. It's a person that always repeats, harming you and.
Yeah. Okay. So someone who bullies is somebody obviously they're doing something more than once, right? Yes. Yeah. So it's basically mental or psychological torment, or even physical torment as well. Okay. Excellent. So what I have here, some types of bullying includes the types of bullying includes punching, shoving, and other acts that hurt people physically, spreading bad rumors about someone, al-isha'at, spreading rumors, and there's a punishment for that as well. When somebody spreads rumors, there's a punishment for that in the hereafter. Keeping certain people out of a group. You know, if you have a special club or a group that you know, sorry, you can't join. It's like, well, what's wrong with that? So, no, it's only for us. Right? So there's certain types of groups, they try to exclude others. They try to make you feel not included. Right? So for example, if somebody walks into this masjid right now and say, oh, sorry, do you have like a pass? You know, do you have the special card? Can we see it? If you don't have it, please leave. Again, that's bullying, right? That's just sort of being aggressive. Teasing people in a mean way. Teasing. We know what teasing is?
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
What's teasing? Yes.
I just wanted to say a question.
Question, okay.
What happens if someone tells you to stop that thing several times and you just keep doing it to them and after until they force you to not do it? Is this still bullying?
Good question. So we're going to talk about that today. There's a difference between, so you see someone that is doing bullying or they're being a bully, and you want to tell them many times, please stop, what you're doing is wrong, and so on. So we're going to talk from an Islamic perspective of al-amr bil ma'ruf wa nahy anil munkar, right? Which means you are telling someone to do what's good and you're enjoining goodness and you're trying to forbid something evil that's happening. And the role of a bystander, for example. So if you are witnessing something happening in front of you Islamically, and even from a regular person, humanity-wise, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? What's your role? So if you see somebody being hurt, you just necessarily, it's not my problem, I'm not going to get involved, right? Especially if you have the power, or maybe you can call someone to help that person. Maybe that person who's being hurt or harmed needs any help right now. Imagine yourself in that situation, and nobody helped you. And you said, please, somebody help me, call some help. And you're like, nobody's like, sorry, it's not my problem, it's your problem. Well, there's 5 kids want to beat me up, and I'm alone, and I have no help. Right? So when somebody screams for help, they expect somebody to go out of the way and help them. Right? It's easy just to say, sorry, it's not my issue, but when you're the one who's being attacked, then it's not so easy anymore. Right? Getting certain people to gang up on others. You know the gangster life?
Yeah, I know.
No gangster life. right? No, we don't want no thug life, basically. What this means is that sometimes you are not doing the work yourself, but you're getting other people to do the work for you, right? So you might be like the cool kid of your class, and you like run a club, or you run some, you have your own people, and you go up to somebody and say, hey, if you don't do this, we're gonna come after you, right? So it's you and a bunch of people, and you are the machine behind the scenes, right? That's not allowed, right? Because again, you are harming others, and so on. So this is pretty much some of the most common types of bullying, and we talked before. There's an element. There's 4 types. There's verbal bullying, which is name calling.
Physical.
1 second. So there's verbal. There's name calling. So we talked about this last week. Allah Subhanahu wa Taala said, وَلَا تَنَابَزُوا بِالْأَلْقَابِ. Don't call each other by bad names, right? If you have a person, call them by their name and just respect them. Don't create bad nicknames and you spread rumors. Oh, this person's that, or he's that. He looks like. I remember when I was in school. Sometimes you find every person, they don't call them by their names. There's always a nickname for somebody, right? Why is there always a nickname? Oh, this guy's so tall. We'll call him a palm tree, Or this guy, he looks. I don't know. We'll call him this. We'll call him that. Like, just call them that by their name. So teasing, spreading rumors, threatening is obviously another one. Threatening, making negative references to someone's own culture, ethnicity, race, religion, and many more. Okay? So again, if you're a Muslim and somebody wants to bully you about your deen, that's an issue. At the same time, you don't go bully someone else. And Allah said in the Quran, do not curse the gods of other people because they may curse back Allah. Right? You're not supposed to curse anybody for that matter. So that's not part of the akhlaq or the etiquette of a Muslim, right? If you have an issue with someone, one second, I have questions there. If you have an issue with someone, the best way to solve an issue is what? Pardon?
Defend.
No. If you have a problem with somebody, say I have a problem with you, what's the best way to solve it?
I don't know.
You talk about it. You go up to the person and say, listen, I have this issue with you, right? Sorry, ladies. You want to add something? No? Was that the answer? If you have a problem with something, what do you do? What's the best way to handle it? Yes? I'm saying maybe you have an issue with that person. So you didn't do anything wrong, but you just said, I just have a issue with the way you talk to others. Or, maybe that person does something.
Stay away from him.
No, what I'm trying to say, in any case, if you have an issue with someone,
talk about it.
The best ways to approach that person, don't go behind their back and backbite and gossip and create rumors. Just say, oh, brother or sister, I need to talk to you about this. What you're doing is wrong here, and you need to stop it and whatnot, and you hurt me, or you said something wrong that I'm affected, please, you work it out, right? You work things out. There was a hand up in the back. Jenna, was that you? Yeah, your question? Oh, okay. Like, so that's the first. The second, we said, so first is verbal. Second is social bullying.
Physical.
So social bullying includes humiliating others in public. Social bullying means like, somebody walks in, he's like, oh, look at the lazy guys here, right? Oh, this guy, his car is like doesn't even run. This guy, like, you just find a way to make fun of him. Look how he dresses. He looks like a homeless person. May Allah protect everybody and give homes to those who are homeless. But you say, oh, he looks like horrible. He's not wearing what we're wearing. He's not up to date. His phone is, oh my God. You see his phone, this guy, where is he living, under a rock? Anybody has a really horrible phone that you're like so excited to show off? Anybody?
Me.
Yeah.
I don't have a phone.
Yes. Okay.
I get made fun of because my phone is small.
Yeah, so these days, if your phone is not the size of this laptop, it's not good enough. Like, you have to be carrying a,
Can I say something?
That's a cool phone.
I have a phone in my imagination that people start laughing about it.
Okay. So that's called social bullying, right? When you're not up to the standards of people, and they may do that.
My phone is dust.
Physical bullying, we talked about hitting, poking, pinching, chasing, shoving, destroying someone's belongings, stealing somebody's belongings. Somebody, you go to school sometimes, or maybe even It could be your own brother or sister. You walk in, dressed up nicely. They go and they take your hat and they run away. They throw it,
They might just
in somewhere,
be
right?
walking. They're like,
okay, have a seat. Have a seat. So somebody might you just maybe dressed up really well and they just destroyed your whole vibe, right? Not very cool. I know on YouTube there's a ton of pranks. Pranks are actually nothing more than bullying, by the way.
99% time fake.
100%.
I understand. But what's the point of these things? Imagine you dress up and somebody just throws a big bag of flour in your face. Like after dressing up, your clean clothes, it looks like fun, and it's not really inciting good deeds, right? Like you're actually harming somebody. Maybe that person has a meeting or they have to go visit somebody, and you destroy their image and all that stuff. It's all forms of bullying, but some of it's considered acceptable. Oh, if there's a camera, it's okay. Ha 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 ha. That's not acceptable as well, right?
You could get caught.
So you have to be careful. Joking is fine, but when you go on a physical note and you're actually starting to really harm people, one day it's not going to be funny anymore, right? And then it's going to be an issue. If you're the only person laughing, there's a problem. If you are not laughing with others, and the same person who you sort of shoved in the snow, right? If that person shoved you in the snow and you're laughing, and you don't consider it bullying and you guys are having fun, that's fine. But if you were shoved into the snow and you got hurt, and you're upset, or somebody threw a snowball to your face, and it hurts, and you're upset and you don't want to say anything about it because you don't want to create an issue, that's called bullying. They just pushed you and they walked away, and they're the only ones laughing. If you push that person back and they have the same, would they laugh as well? So just always remember that. Not saying go push people and they hit you once, you hit 10 times harder. That's not the right way, because you're just going to make more violence, right? So you got to be careful. Finally, we have cyberbullying. Okay, so cyberbullying is using the internet or text messaging,
Social media.
social media, whatever it is, right? Emails,
Social bullying?
cyber, like online, right? Maybe this is probably more for the older crew that you're texting online, or you have classes and you got to do work online, and then somebody says, yeah, hey, they start to spread rumors about you, say, oh no, this guy, don't include him in our group.
He's bad at typing.
Like famous games like Roblox and stuff.
Can I say something?
Yes.
What happened? I'm just going a little bit back, like a sniveling corner. If they say your name, if you don't know their name, can you just tell him, if he's tall, you can say tall guy? If you don't know his name.
It depends on how you mean it.
Yeah, you have to check your intentions, right? If you don't actually know the person, when somebody may say, well, please describe this person, well, he's a tall brother, he wears this kind of gray jacket or whatnot, you can describe somebody. That's not bullying or attacking somebody, right? You are basically describing somebody, right? But if you say it in a negative way, oh yeah, he's this guy, he's so tall, I bet, he's probably, his head is in, I don't know, he lives on a different planet, or he's so weird and whatever. When you start to add negative comments, then that's a problem, right? And so you have to be very careful about how you do it. So any sort of rumors or harm you cause somebody online is considered cyberbullying. Okay, so quickly, we're going to go over the side effects. What happens when someone is bullied? So whether you are, not necessarily you are, but if you know someone or yourself that you are being bullied, or you could be a bully yourself, right? Not sure, right? But I'm just saying, maybe it could be you don't know you're hurting somebody, but you are hurting them. So bullying makes people upset. It can make a child feel lonely, unhappy, or even frightened, okay? It can make them feel unsafe and think there must be something wrong with them. When somebody keeps telling you, oh, you're silly, you're not smart, you're dumb, you're this and that, after a while you say, am I actually, is something wrong with me? So they start to create these negative thoughts within you, right? And you think you're not smart, or you can't do it, or you're weak, or whatnot. There's, again, all really bad sort of behaviors, okay? Sometimes children can lose confidence and may not want to go to school anymore. It might even make somebody sick or depressed or so on. Some people I think bullying is just part of growing up, and it's a way of young people to learn to stick up to them for themselves, right? Bullying is a man-made behavior, right? It's something that's made by someone else. It's not the building, it's nothing, it's us. It's how we deal with each other. So it all depends how you are talking to that person, it depends how you are interacting with that person. You may not mean it, but indirectly you could harm somebody as well. Maybe somebody entrusted you with a secret, right? And they said, please don't tell anybody about this. You know, I didn't get an A+ in my test. I got like a C-. I'm gonna do better next time, inshallah. It's nobody's business to know. But your friend who you trusted went and spread that news and said, oh yeah, I got, B+ and he got a C+, C-. That's spreading. That's a form of bullying. Maybe you didn't mean it, but now you kind of hurt this person because they didn't want people to know about it. They are working on themselves. Is anybody perfect here? Nobody's perfect, right?
No, time down.
Wow.
I know. My cousin wants to be perfect.
Imperfect.
There was a lot of hands
My
raised for
cousin
that.
wants to be perfect.
Okay.
I'm not
Everyone
perfect.
wants to be
He's not
perfect.
perfect.
All right, guys.
I'm perfect.
So
No,
what
you're
can
not.
I do? We know all from a human perspective and from an Islamic perspective, this is haram. This is wrong, right? That you are not allowed to harm others. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, if you backbite one another, it's as if, and yet it's almost as if you are it's as if you are eating the flesh of your dead brother, right? And you would hate that, right? So what Allah is trying to say is worse than eating a dead corpse. This rumors and the backbiting that you may start and spread. Okay? So you have to be careful that anything you do behind somebody's back, it's very, very serious. Okay? What can I do right now about bullying in my community? Okay, so for example, for the victims, right? If somebody is a victim of bullying, what can you do? Now, this doesn't have to have a place in the school all the time. I know we talk about school, but in general, it could even happen at your local masjid, or maybe it happens at your relative's house.
At the mall.
You go somewhere, your cousin or something, it's all fun and play, but after a while it's starting to become, not fun anymore, right? So, for victims, the first thing you can do is walk away. Okay?
You could tell the teacher.
You can walk away. 1 second. So, you find something that's happening, maybe if you walk away and you just ignore that person. وَإِذَا مَرُّوا بِهِمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. When someone ignorant is passing by, or you're passing by them, they're saying bad words and wrong things, you walk past them. Say salam and I'm out, right? You just take yourself out of that situation. If it's getting worse, you tell somebody you trust. You always speak to someone of authority. I know sometimes, and that could be a teacher, coach, guidance counselor, parent, imam, whoever. Somebody that you trust. You need to speak to an adult. So, you know how sometimes when we see there's attacks on Muslims outside, hate crimes and so on? If those Muslims who get attacked, or anyone who gets attacked outside, somebody scratches your car, somebody calls you a wrong name, they say, go back to your country we came from, we don't have people like you in this country, all that kind of stuff. When those things happen, what are you supposed to do? What's the first thing you do? And you file a report, you file a complaint. What happens when you file a complaint, or you reach out to somebody here of authority?
They go to jail.
No, those incidents are recorded. Okay?
And they get a ticket.
Listen to me for a second.
Ticket.
Those incidents are recorded. Now, if that person is caught, there's a case to work with. But when you don't report something, you say, oh no, I'm embarrassed to talk to the teacher about it. I don't want to tell my family, I don't want to tell my parents. I'm going to just, I'm tough, I can handle it myself. That may happen one time. Then if that thing happens twice, that means you couldn't handle it. You didn't solve the problem. It happens 3 times, you didn't solve the problem. You're bottling this stuff inside. 4, 5, 6 times, when there's a point of no return, and then you go talk to somebody, it's too late, right? That person who's harming you may have harmed you in a really severe way, and it takes a long time to recover from that. Understand? So it's always good to catch something early on. Sometimes it's tough, by the way. It's not easy to go tell, someone that I've been harmed, I've been hurt, somebody called me a name, somebody cursed me, someone pushed me, I've been attacked, or whatever the case may be. You have to tell somebody. It has to be reported.
Is it possible for someone to get cursed? Yes.
Yeah, somebody can call you, somebody can say something wrong to you, right? And you don't want that to happen. Yes?
How can you get cursed?
What if you were
Black
gonna
magic.
tell, but then
That's not what he's talking about.
you couldn't catch up, like on telling something.
But, you mean you forgot to tell somebody about it?
They want to stick your mouth.
Like, what if your teachers were there and then after you were trying to go to her, but then she went already?
Then you find the next person, right? So, for example, if you try, someone and they're not there, you move to the next person who's in charge. Maybe if it's not your teacher, go to the principal, go to the office.
What
Right?
if the principal's not there?
Then there's someone always going to be there. Okay? There's always going to be somebody there. My point is, guys,
What if
excuse
you're
me.
only good for
Okay, I need hands up, please. It's too much noise. If you want to talk, and she did it very nicely. She put her hand up, she spoke. If you have a question, please raise your hand. And guys, off the wall, please. I need you guys to sit here. The wall is only for old people. Yeah, let's go. Come on.
I'm 98
Off
years
the wall.
old.
Off
I'm
the wall.
100 years
Please,
old.
come.
Whoa,
Die.
whoa.
But I'm 98.
No. You're good. Come on, you guys are all strong, tough guys. You had dinner. You're all looking sharp, mashallah.
I barely had dinner.
Energies are top level. Guys.
You don't expect food.
Like, so, as I said before, find a way to report it. Okay? Make sure it's known to somebody else. You are not dealing with it yourself. Even if it's a family member. Sometimes you may have an uncle or a cousin, they keep teasing you all the time, they keep, calling you this, oh my god, you're looking fat, cute, all that stuff, and you don't like it, khalas. I know we have a lot of relatives, they think, this, we can, just because you're relatives, you can, talk about each other and make fun. After a while, if it bothers you, you can say stop. Shabab. Guys. So after a while, if something's bothering you, you should say stop, okay? Perfect. Now,
What if that person doesn't stop? Tell a trusted person.
okay, so we're moving to the next point.
For example, if he
Third.
trusts a baby, tell a baby.
Is you ask for help. Obviously, we mentioned that. Fifth here is say something complimentary to the bully to distract him or her. Now, if you're in a situation that's really difficult, sometimes you have to say, okay, listen, I know you're a really smart guy, and you're doing whatever, but I have to go. And then you walk away or you run away, for example, right? Sometimes a compliment, a reverse compliment, meaning you don't really think he's smart because he's harming you, but you just say, okay, yeah, you're smart, you're tough, you're the man, okay? So, but I gotta go, thank you, bye, and you run.
Well, they'll know that you're afraid from them.
No, but if you're in a situation that you don't have the ability to defend yourself, you have to be careful, okay? I'm telling you really good points here, and I hope you guys don't ever have to use it, but it's important to know, at least in your mind. Yes, sir.
So you said you have to tell someone you trust. So if you trust your friend, like your friend basically, yeah, or a baby, can you just go and
Someone who is, I told you, someone who has authority.
like old,
An adult. Okay?
or a friend,
you.
and then your friend asks
Okay,
your
we're
teacher.
moving to the next point. Another issue, or if you're alone and you find yourself you cannot handle the situation, stay in a group, maybe a group of friends, or stay close to people that you trust as well, so you avoid confrontation or any issues and so on. Okay, I'm talking about the worst case scenarios here. Another point here is pretend that this person's not affecting you. Usually, people thrive on reactions. They bug you. Maybe you have a brother or sister. They just they just smack you for no reason. And they're like, why would you do that?
He does that.
Why would you do that? He's like, well, I just want to see your reaction.
I know.
I just want to see what's going to happen. Right? So,
I have one. It's just weird and rude.
you just want to say, well, I'm testing your sense, your sense of feeling. I just want to see if you feel it. Right? So, sometimes those things are not allowed as well. But If this person tries to do something and you say, well, and you ignore it completely or you give no reaction at all, that person may be, okay, next, let me find something else to do, and they might leave you alone. Okay?
No.
Yeah.
But what if he did that and then you ignore it, but then he's like, oh, he didn't mind, so then you keep on doing it.
Well, obviously you say something, right? But now if somebody hits you or someone harms you, you have to obviously say something, right? You're not going to ignore it entirely. But I'm saying maybe somebody's trying to bug you from far. The red hijab girl's coming again, right? You just like, okay, whatever, right? I'm just giving you an example, right? You try to like diffuse them, right? Or maroon, if that's the right color, right? Anything. My point is, somebody may, you try to ignore that. The last point here is keep reminding yourself that you are a good person and you are worthy of respect. Okay? Don't let, Shaitan and his allies get to your head. You know what Shaitan means? His partners, right? People that help him. So if somebody is doing something wrong, and they're actually following the footsteps of Shaitan in this case. Okay? So what you need to do here is, what does Shaitan try to tell you? He always tells you that, you are not worthy of Allah's rahmah. Okay? He makes you think that you are so not worthy of Allah's mercy. And Allah said, لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. Right? Or لا تيأسوا من رحمة الله. Do not despair from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know that's a major sin, to despair in Allah's mercy? Yes? Despair means you lose hope. If somebody says, no, I am not worthy to be forgiven, Allah can't forgive me, you're basically saying Allah does not have the ability to forgive you. So you're actually creating a problem here, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in many places, but in the special hadith Qudsi, if your sins reach anan samawat wal ard, or anan sama, if your sins reach the heavens, right? And you come towards me with tawbah, I'll come towards you with maghfirah, right? So even though you may think you are the worst person, there's always room to recover as long as you are a believer and you ask Allah for repentance. And forever your shortcomings, you say, Allah, please forgive me. And if you harm somebody, you hurt somebody, you apologize. You do as much as you can. Your sins will be forgiven. Shaitan he wants you to think that Allah can't forgive you, right? So if you think, oh, I'm hopeless, Allah's just going to throw me in hell and that's it. It's over for me. That's called despairing the mercy of Allah, right? As a Muslim, as a believer, we know that Allah has the ability to forgive us. He has the ability to switch all our bad deeds to good deeds. إِلَّا مَنْ آمَنَ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا فَأُولَٰئِكَ يُبَدِّلُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ حَسَنَاتٍ. After you make tawbah, إِلَّا مَنْ تَابَ وَآمَنَ. He makes tawbah, he believes. وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا فَأُولَٰئِكَ يُبَدِّلُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ حَسَنَاتٍ. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the ability to switch all the bad deeds you have to good deeds in a split second. So don't worry. Right? Don't think that I'm not worthy, I'm weak, I'm nothing. If I'm not in that team or in that club, if I didn't make it to the basketball team, or I'm not in the soccer league, or I'm not in the art club, or I'm not in the crochet club. Crochet? Okay, if you didn't make it, then I'm not worthy. No, you are worthy. Make your own club. That's what I used to do in school, at least.
How?
I just go and make my own club.
How?
Right? But it serves everybody.
How do you make a club?
You go sign up a paper and you make a club. Okay?
What would you name it?
The Muslim Student Association. Okay, when you guys get older, you realize. So find ways to do good. Okay? For people who are watching, if you happen to be someone who's a bystander and you're watching and you want to help this person but you don't know how, here's some tips. First of all, instead of ignoring a bullying incident, instead of ignoring it, you can tell a teacher, a coach, or a counselor, imam, anyone, a position of authority and trust. Okay? Number two, it's better you talk to
What if your friend tells the teacher?
No, you talk to the teacher
tells
yourself.
the
Nobody will explain it better than yourself.
Principal tells.
Next is you move toward or next to the victim, so you stand beside the person who's being affected and you give them some strength. Okay? So for example, if you see somebody alone, if you're a group of friends, you say, you know, we're going to go help that person. You go as a group. That other person who's causing an issue might just walk away because now they're dealing with a group, they're not dealing with one person.
One weakling.
Use your voice and say stop, right? And, you know, stop whatever you're doing or you kind of call for help and whatnot. The other point here is you can also befriend the victim. You can be a friend to this person. You say, you know what, don't worry about it. I'm your friend. You can trust me, and so on. That's, again, these are all good deeds, right? There's a lot of good deeds in this. And you can also lead the victim away from the situation. You need to take that person out of that situation and you put them in a safer spot. Okay? For bullies, for people who are causing the problem, you need to speak to someone. You need to talk to a teacher. You know, someone, again, in position of authority, and you need to seek help. If you are harming somebody, you need to stop and you need to seek help. Okay? Yes?
Okay, so last time my friend, she had glasses. These boys were bullying her and trying to take her glasses and break it.
Yeah.
So I went to tell the teacher because she couldn't. So then after the teacher's like, sorry, I'm not gonna come. You have to let her come to me and say that, like they're bullying me.
Yeah, so now it depends on the situation, right? I can't speak for that situation. I don't know the teacher or whoever, but the main thing, if it's not the teacher or she couldn't do something about it, you try your best to the next person. Maybe go to the office and tell the principal, and then maybe they can send somebody to go check or whatnot, right?
But she's gonna say no, right? She's gonna say no if you.
Yeah, what about if it's one of the class rules, never go to the principal except after the school?
Well, you need to report it sooner or later. So maybe you can't do it that second, but after class or whenever you get a chance, you have to report it. Okay? Now, my point is, you do your best. You just don't let it pass, because you know what happens when you let it go? What happens?
People find you easy to get past.
No.
They go find someone else.
No.
They'll take you as a victim.
It's gonna happen again. If you didn't help that person the first time, and the person who was bullying didn't find any support for this person, they may just keep harming this person over and over and over, right? So there's a big chance it's gonna happen again. Yes.
So if you help somebody, the bullies are gonna go after you too, because they're gonna be like, oh, you're the snitch, you're the one who got us in trouble.
So yeah, good point. So if you help somebody, you might become a victim yourself, right? Now again, it depends on the severity of the case, right? So in the case where it becomes way too aggressive, then maybe you might have to call authorities, or you report it to, like, there's a lot of different hotlines and stuff like that. And you create an incident report. Now, when something goes really bad and you call, obviously you get your parents involved, you get the administration involved, sometimes the police have to get involved. Again, it depends on how severe it is. Inshallah, you don't have to go that far. But if you're finding yourself, again, a victim as well, you know, do your best to protect yourself as well, right? Sometimes I know some kids have to like switch schools and they have to move to areas and it gets very severe. But inshallah, you don't have to go through that. Now, if it reaches that far, make sure you are getting support from administration. People are in charge. Okay, yes?
What about the victim betrays you? Like, you help the victim, but then at the end he betrays you.
And then you just leave them alone. Khalas, walk away. Okay.
But what if the next time they get bullied again?
Okay.
Do you just ignore them?
So quickly here, I want to mention a couple of things about. We're going to finish with this, inshallah.
If they betray you and then
What about if they get bullied again and then you help the victim and then he betrays you again and again and again and again and again?
Okay, so how do you know? This is for the parents here. How do you know if your child is being bullied? Now here's a pointer for everybody. Some of you guys might nod your head and say, yeah, inshallah khair, I know all the points, but you actually don't do anything about it. So you actually could be secretly bullied. You keep it within yourselves. You hear me say it a few times, you know, get help, get help. You don't tell your parents because you want to be a tough guy or a tough girl and you want to just, you know, macho this thing out. For parents, what are some signs they can find out that you're being bullied or not? Okay? Now, this depends on the skill set of the parents. They can figure out on their super sleuth abilities, right? But usually if you're a parent, you can smell things, okay?
Smell?
Yeah, you have a nose for trouble. Okay, one of the most difficult aspects of bullying is that it often occurs at times when adults are not around. It also occurs in indirect ways that adults may unintentionally overlook, okay? The first step to solving the problem is understanding the different types of bullying and the common situations which they surface. So by educating yourself and being aware of your child's social context, knowing who your child's friends are, right? Knowing their names, knowing which families they come from, the close friends, the school colleagues. Sometimes your child thinks his classmates are all his friends, and that's not true. You go to class with kids, but they're not your friends. They don't call you ever, they don't help you, they don't do anything for you. Your close inner circle of people that you visit, they respect you and so on. This is a friend. Classmates are not necessarily friends, so you have to be careful. Sometimes you want to be friends with the whole class, okay? You want to be Mr. or Mrs. Popular. Ditch that idea. Forget about it. One good friend is better than 10 bad friends. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
One good friend is better than 10 bad friends. No friend is better than one bad friend. Okay? So you
No
remember.
friend is better than one bad friend.
Pardon?
No friend is better than one bad
So that
friend.
means, like,
Yes.
like that
Because
friend?
one bad friend can introduce you to 10 bad friends and you're in big trouble. Right? So you have to be careful. Okay. Okay, so for the parents, understanding the social context of your child, you are priming yourself for step 2, which is recognizing the warning signs, okay? And what are some issues? Sometimes your child might come back home and they are not themselves. You need to ask, you need to have, what happened today? And sometimes they'll say, oh, one of my friends, excuse me, one of my friends, he pushed me in the snow. And he's like, 1 second, who is this friend of yours? Right? Or were you guys playing? Or was it a one-way push? Right? Did you push him back and you had fun? Were you both throwing snowballs at each other? And no. Sometimes the person might come back a little bit injured because the snowball was a bit too hard, for example, and it was thrown in your face. Sometimes somebody pushed you off a snow hill and you hurt yourself, or whatever. So the point is, you need to read the signs. Okay? Sometimes your kid might come back sad, unhappy, doesn't want to say anything. I want to go to my room, right? Leave me alone. I'm tired. I don't want to talk to anybody. That's not a good sign. You should come back happy and telling us what happened during the day. Okay? Let me just finish my points and I'll come to you. When you are attuned to any indicators that your child is being bullied, such as unexplained loss of possessions, meaning that your child is missing things. Where's your lunch bag? Or
I believe.
your lunch bag is there, but where's the containers? Oh, it's going missing. Your pencils are missing. Things are missing. Somebody's taking things from you. That's one way. Second is fear of riding on the school bus. If you ride on the school bus, or fear of having your parents dropping you right to the front door. No, just park over there. I'm gonna walk myself because you're worried about, whatever, right? You can be proactive in responding. So this means initiating a conversation. You need to have a chat with your child. Ask them how their day went, who are their friends, what did you and your friends do today. Sometimes the kids spill the beans without realizing it. We're maybe old and gray, but we have some wisdom here. Okay?
Every new gray hair is wisdom.
Experts on bullying among children said there are several reasons where children may not ask for help. This means you should not talk about it. Okay? Questions you can ask are to your child. I'm worried about you. Are there any kids in school that are teasing or picking on you? Sometimes actually creating a conversation about this, you would actually unearth a lot of issues, right? Your child might not say anything, but you can create a situation where they start talking.
You can make them talk.
Are there any kids at school who leave you out on purpose? Why do you sit down, with who do you sit down at lunch or on the school, on the bus? Are there any kids at school who you don't like, and why don't you like them? Right?
I have
So
lots.
you can talk about that.
I have lots of. Okay, go tell your dad.
Okay. Finally, finally here, it's important to remind your child that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises His own justice as well, stating that whoever performs an atom's weight of good or evil will be compensated for it, right? So we know in the Quran, وَمَن يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ وَمَن يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. So you need to understand this. Every atom worth of good deeds is recorded, and every atom worth of bad deeds is recorded. So you need to understand your place as a Muslim, and also you don't respond 10 times harder. If a bully is bothering you, you respond with equal justice, but you don't go and say, okay, yeah, you have one guy, I've got 10 guys now. I'm gonna, pummel you and destroy you and kill you and all that stuff. You don't become a worse person, okay? You don't become now a brand new bully. You don't want that person to give you negative energy, and you start becoming, a monster yourself. Okay, I think we're good here, inshallah. Any questions?
No.
No. Sit down, please. Questions? Yes, miss.
What if,
Yeah, okay, ask. Heba, you ask.
okay, what if like
I'm
someone
sitting by.
would